So we'll get a reference to Pacman basically first. So we'll get a reference, so this part is working. So get a reference to Pacman. So get Pacman, and from here we can set lives back to 3. So we have to reset the lives, that is something which we have done. And in the pellet spawner, so I guess spawn pellets is supposed to handle everything else. So if I head into spawn pellets, so we are basically destroying any existing pellets, any existing power pellets, and then we are going ahead and spawning them. Alright, and once we do that, we are setting the pellets remaining to be equal to the count. So I'm not sure what the count is. Okay, so we are incrementing the count. So that's probably the reason why. We probably have to set the count to 0 first when we call spawn pellet. So that's probably the reason why it didn't go to level 3. So let's test it out if our suspicion was in fact correct. For the sake of testing, I'll just increase the speed. Anyways, all our speeds are relative to Pacman, so our gameplay shouldn't change technically. So go ahead and change the max walk speed. So max walk speed, we can set that to 1000 maybe, or maybe 750. Oops. Okay, 750 is fine. So we do feel a lot faster. That's probably for the better. Then now we can at least test it quickly. Alright, so we should go to level 2. So at this point of time we want to disable the input. So this is the frustrating part. So now we have some time, which we have won. Alright, so now we technically should go to level 3. So as you can see, we have gone to level 3. Alright, so I guess the only things left now are to add the fruits, as well as to add the screen when you go to the next level basically. So we can add the screen real quick. That's pretty simple. So we can create a widget and we can say next level screen. So BP next level screen. Okay. So if I were to go ahead and add a background blur, and we'll increase the blur strength to about 10, and we'll add some text over there. So we'll wrap this with the canvas panel. Alright, so we'll set the position to be all 0 after we have anchored it to all the 4 corners. We'll add some text to the canvas, center align it, 0.5 and 0.5 for the anchor, and the position is going to be 0 with the anchor to be at the center. Alright, so let's say we make this 500 by 100, and let's say a font size of 75, and this is going to be level whatever. So level 1 shall be the default, level 1, and the font can be the arcade font. Alright, so we can add the fade animation. It's very simple to do it. So add an animation and call it fade. Alright, and we can add a track for the text. We can add a track for the render opacity. So render opacity, it's going to be 0 over here, and let's say at 0.5 seconds it becomes 1. It's going to remain 1 until 2.5 seconds, and at 3 seconds it's going to become 0. Alright, same with the background blur as well, so that's probably better to do. So actually we can leave the background blur as is, it's totally fine. We can go ahead and play animation. So if we drag a reference to this, this is going to work. Alright, and on animation finish, rather finished, on finish, we can go ahead and destroy self. So we can say remove from parent, and this should technically destroy the widget. Alright, so now in theory we should be able to take the input for the level number. So we can set the text. So we can set the text over here, and this is going to be the level number. So we can format it, and this is going to be level number. Oops. Level number. Alright, this should be good. Now for the level number, we can take this as an integer. So level number, and we can expose this on spawn. Alright, now inside our game mode, whenever we are ending the round, basically we want to call this. So on end round, so where we want to utilize these 3 seconds basically. So over here we can go ahead and create a widget. Create widget, this will be new level. So level, whatever this is called, next level screen, and this will be level +1. Level +1. Alright, and we can add it to the viewport. We don't really need a reference since we'll be discarding this anyways, and the garbage collector will probably do its thing. So now if I go ahead and press play, so now I can pick these up. Nothing much going on here. Now you see we are in level 2. Alright, let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so it is working as expected, but I'm pretty sure the number of lives is wrong. I don't think we lost 3 lives. I'm not sure how many lives we had at the beginning. So I lost 1. Alright. So I guess the number of lives are correct. So I should be able to die 3 times. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so everything is working fine. We also need to set up the point system when the ghost is in frightened mode. So it's actually fairly simple. We can keep a global counter in the game mode, so as to how many ghosts he has eaten. So this is basically what I'm talking about. So now in the game mode, we can go ahead and say ghosts eaten. I'm not sure if eaten is the correct term over here. So okay, eat is the correct term. So ghosts eaten in frightened mode, and this will be an integer. What we'll do here is when we actually eat a ghost, so that is going to be over here in ghost. When we overlap and we are in frightened mode, what we can do is we can go ahead and increase that counter over there. So we can go ahead and increase that counter. So we have the game mode reference anyways. So ghosts eaten, we can go ahead and increment this, and what we'll do is based on this we'll just multiply this by 200 and add the points. So multiply this by 200 and we'll add the points basically. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and set points to be points plus 200 into that number. So get points, pass that in, and now if I continue the flow here, the logic should technically still remain the same. And another thing that we have to do is we probably have to reset this counter over here. So I didn't add it, so let's go ahead and add that to the original points. So the result is going to be what the final points is going to be. So we are getting the points as well from here. So we'll just go ahead and get another reference. Alright. So we need to reset the counter if we are in any of the other modes. So if we change the mode ever, we have to reset that counter, whatever we have. So that ghost eaten in frightened mode. So set ghost eaten in frightened mode to be 0. So this is a common logic which we'll probably have to run for the other 3 modes which are out there. So with the same game mode reference, we can run that. Alright. And even under freeze, we can just do that just as a safety check. Not really required, but just for safety, we can do that. So move that down over there. And this should be it for the ghosts eaten in frightened mode. So that should add the points. It will still not work because we have to update the score. So whenever this points updates over here as well, we can go ahead and do that. So we can go ahead and update the UI. So we can say update scorecard or whatever. So I forgot what the function is called. So HUD. Okay, get HUD. And we can go ahead and update. So this is the only point of time where we are going to set that. And the new points will be the new score. Now, if I go ahead and grab a power pellet over here real quick. And if I eat a ghost. Oops, okay, we are eating it multiple times. So we need to fix that real quick. So we can edit the collision profiles over here. So the collision preset is character mesh. We'll set it to custom. And as per the mesh itself, now we should be going as per the collision capsule. But nonetheless, object type instead of pawn, we can set it to world dynamic. So we can set it to, or actually this shouldn't matter. But over here, for object type, we can set this over here to world dynamic is what it is. And lower half as well is going to be world dynamic. And as per the capsule component, so this is what it is. So let's go ahead and make this one custom. And this ghost should not ignore actually, ghost should overlap rather. Upper and lower halves as well, we can make the ghost overlap. So even for the mesh as well, we can make the ghost overlap. So let's see where the problem is occurring. So let's go ahead and grab this in. So it's just increasing the points so drastically, which should not be the case. I'll go to a place where there's a single ghost. So that's probably a more accurate representation. So if I go here, okay, I should not be able to do that. So that is totally wrong. Alright, so what seemed to fix it is changing the channel to pawn and making the collision overlap over here. Because pawn is what the capsule component is going to be having. So now if I go ahead and press play, so our dying part is actually working. Now I'll bump into this multiple times. Nothing is really happening. If I bump into it the second time, okay, we ended frightened mode. So now if I bump into this, alright, so it's game over. Let's go ahead and try bumping into different ghosts actually. So go ahead and try to bump it in. Alright, so it seems to be working, but we are not getting the second response. So that is absolutely correct. That is exactly the behavior that we were expecting. So I guess the last mechanic that we have left over here is the fruits. So we can add in a target point somewhere over here and spawn the fruit. Of course, we cannot model so many fruits, that is out of our scope. So I'll roughly place the target point. So just a simple hack that I have is we'll just jerry rig our own fruit model and we'll just reuse that. Nobody will notice. So under advanced, not here, rather under the actor advanced settings, we'll add a tag, and this one is going to be fruit spawn. So what do we do for the fruits? I am thinking over here. So for the fruit itself, we can make it a big sphere and we can make it glow in a distinctive color. So that's something we can do. So if I just go ahead, right click, create a new blueprint class and call it BP fruit. Oops, I should have called it BP fruit. So BP underscore fruit. Alright, and it should actually disappear after 15 seconds, I believe. So I believe it's 15 seconds. I'm not sure about the duration. Yep, 15 seconds. So add in a sphere. Alright, let's just see the size. So let it be big. And now what we can do is we can head into our material section. We have our pellet material and we have a scalar parameter called color. So we can create a material instance out of this. So we can go ahead and create a material instance, or we can actually use the outline material. But since we already have outline materials of different colors, let's not do that. And we can call it mi underscore what is this, fruit. So this one we can change the color. I think we don't have anything which is purple, so turn off my flux or I can't see what color it actually is. So something around purple to violet. So we don't have anything of this shade, so we can use that. Alright, so this should work. If I close this and if I just apply the material to BP fruit, and for the collision I'll just set it to overlap all. So this will be overlap all dynamic or whatever. So ghost is blocking, so we'll make it custom. So this will be ghost. And for the material itself, we can set that to be equal to mi underscore fruit. Alright, so this will be our fruit. Now what we can do is you can set up the overlap event, of course. So when we overlap, so we'll cast to Pacman. So we'll cast to BP Pacman, and also on begin play we can have a delay of 15 seconds. So this is just a quick and dirty way of doing it. 15 seconds, we can go ahead and destroy actor. Alright, so just another simple check over here. So we can get a reference to self, and only if it is valid we can go ahead and do that. This is not necessary, and this is probably not going to help much in case something is wrong anyways, but nonetheless this is just a safety check which we can do. Alright, so if Pacman did overlap it, we can go ahead and get the game mode. So this is the only thing, so we'll just go ahead and hard code it right here. So cast to Pacman game mode. So based on the level we'll add different number of points. Alright, so we have 100, 300, 500. So we have quite a few cases. So what we can do now is we can get the level. Oops, not this, get level. We shouldn't have named it level probably.